This week's Piltch Point with Avram Piltch is proudly powered by PureVPN. The best way to protect your privacy online is with PureVPN. You can hide your online activities, say goodbye to regional restrictions, and improve your streaming quality. Plus, it's available for almost all of your devices. You can get a special price and a 31-day money-back guarantee right now by going to pilchpoint.live/PureVPN. All right. It's that time of year, bud. We're coming up. We're in that week where your life gets really interesting.
Oh, yes. But hey, the rest of you can also have an interesting week, and your interesting week can be based completely on finding good deals. So we are now in Black Friday week. We're in Black Friday season. We've been in Black Friday season. I think it's going to really ramp up starting like Wednesday, Thursday of this week. Thanksgiving is a very busy day for me logging deals. So yeah, my family expects that, me to spend a good chunk of the day. I mean, when it's dinner time, I put the laptop or the computer down and go to dinner, and then after dinner, back on again. So anyway, but let's talk about what the rest of everyone can do to actually like get a great benefit out of this holiday and save some money. So first of all, please do come to tomshardware.com and check out our live blog of deals, our deal pages. We're highlighting all kinds of stuff. But aside from that, let's talk about what is good to save on. So obviously there's sales on everything from mattresses to clothing, but I don't care about that. And Tom's Hardware, we don't care about that. We're tech enthusiast place. So what you can save on is in our world is you can definitely save a lot on components. So this is a really great time to buy a CPU. It's a great time to buy a motherboard. It's a great time to buy an SSD, and it's a great time to buy RAM, power supplies, graphics cards. We had seen a lot of drops in price. It seems that I was just checking this afternoon. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of great GPU sales at this very moment. Maybe it'll heat up later in the week. But if you are looking to upgrade or do a new build, this is a good time to be picking up the parts, with the possible exception that you will not find great discounts on the very latest Intel 13th gen CPUs. The Ryzen CPUs, the Ryzen 7000 series CPUs are on sale, and you can get a good deal on them. The best deal on them is, if you trust this place, which I believe it's pretty trustworthy, especially because they've got an eBay, eBay has policies. There's a store called Ant Online, and their eBay store has like up to $120 off the new chip. So like the 7950X, which is a 16-core chip, normally $699 is going for like $570 or something. So and of course, you can get the kind of entry-level Ryzen 5 7600X for $249 there. But the best deals are on last generation AMD 5000 series. A really great chip for gaming is the Ryzen 7 5800X 3D, which uses a lot of 3D V cache to actually make it incredible for gaming. And that one is selling for $329. Also via an online eBay. Otherwise, Amazon has it for $359. So a good time to get that stuff. A great time to get a monitor. We're seeing hundreds of dollars off monitors. Our top picked gaming monitor, the Dell 3222 DGM 32-inch 2K 165 hertz monitor with really fantastic contrast and color. Normally $399 is $289 at Dell. There is the Dell's 4K gaming monitor, which is we have it on our, let's just say the model number escapes me because it's a bunch of threes, but it is normally $799. Now you can get it for $599, and that game's at 4K with really great color. Another, really good choice there is Aorus if you want a big screen. There's a couple out there. There's a Samsung right now selling at Amazon, Samsung's Odyssey G9 49-inch monitor, 240 hertz monitor is $779. That's at least $120 off what you normally would pay for it. So those are some great deals. And then on the productivity monitor side, I'm going to hastily admit here that I'm not much of a gamer, so I don't care about high refresh rate monitor. I want high resolution and I want great color. And Dell is selling its Ultra Sharp U2720QM monitor for $349. That's normally like a $550 monitor. 4K with wide color gamut. So there's a lot of great stuff going on in the monitor space. There's a lot of great stuff going on in the laptop space. Particularly, we're seeing some great deals at deals.dell.com, where there's some really good deals on Alienware laptops, where you could normally find, have to spend more than $1,500 for an Alienware, even the cheapest Alienware laptop. Now we're seeing them for less than that, and we're seeing ones with 3060 or 3070 chip. You want a GPU, ideally, you want to go for if you can spend the money, and we now are seeing some for under $1,000. We're seeing laptops with 3060 GPUs for $999, not Alienware ones, but we are seeing them elsewhere. Like if you look at Best Buy or you look at Newegg, Acer's web store has some great deals. And then I don't know if this is still going on as of today. I gotta check it, but one of the best deals around if you just want a really inexpensive gaming laptop, Best Buy had a Gigabyte. I think it's the MD5. I'm checking out. All right, yes, G5 MD. The Gigabyte G5 MD, which we, by the way, have one and are reviewing it, and our review will go up next week. But spoiler alert, performs pretty well. This gaming laptop has a Core i5 3050 Ti. I think it's a 144 hertz or 120 hertz display, 512 gigabyte SSD. The one really big downside is it's 8 gigs of RAM, so you'd want to upgrade that. And it is an 11th gen processor, but that won't make a big difference. Did I say how much it was?
Nope.
You want to give a guess?
Oh, that's So a gigabyte
3050 Ti.
Yeah, 350
it's only
Ti, 8 gigs of RAM, 11th gen Intel.
500 gigs, 15.6 inch FHD gaming FHD screen, which is I think 44, but it could be 144. It's 144. So 144 hertz. Yes. So 3050 Ti is good enough to play a lot of games at 1080p ultra settings or high settings, or very high settings. So that's a pretty decent graphics card.
I don't know. Let me go crazy and say $799.
$549.
Wow. Okay.
$549.
Okay.
$549 gets you, at Best Buy, the Gigabyte G5 MD. That is what you get. Now, you absolutely should plan, if you buy such a thing, on spending another like $50 to upgrade the RAM, which I'm sure it's upgradable. You you absolutely should plan on upgrading the RAM. 8 gigs of RAM is not enough RAM. I mean, you can get by with it, but I wouldn't recommend it. Although if you're buying a gift for someone, you could buy them this, and then it would be their problem to get another 8 gigs of RAM, which they could use it without. Sure. They could use it without it, but they may eventually say, "Wow, when I have a lot of tabs open in my browser, things get a little slow." Sure. So there's a lot of good deals out there on gaming laptops. There's some okay deals on gaming desktops. There's also decent deals on 3D printers. This is a pretty good time to get a new 3D printer. There's some deals on Amazon on them. I just got a email today from Anycubic telling me that they have a bunch of sales going on anycubic.com, which is a major 3D printer vendor. And then we also have a review going up tomorrow of the Elegoo Neptune 3 Pro printer, which I have, and behind me the Neptune 3 Not Pro. And the Not Pro has been pretty good and has been selling, and is about $209, or depending, Amazon sometimes has a $229. Elegoo, Elegoo, on their website already is taking orders for the Pro, which steps it up by having higher temperature hot end, so it goes to up to 260 degrees Celsius, and it has what's called direct drive, which means that you get a better feed directly through of the filament through the head, through the nozzle, and that allows you to print in TPU, which is a flexible material. So besides printing in regular plastic and regular, PLA, which is the most common stuff, you can also print in TPU with that, and that has an intro price, I think, of $229. So at elegoo.com. So a lot of great deals out there. Obviously, please come check out. You can just go to our homepage, tomshardware.com, and we are going to have a lot of deals. And I will be burning the midnight oil. I already have been, to help you find them. So come check it out.
Well, I know I always follow what you guys are up to, save for that one weird 2019 where I was stuck here in the studio putting out content about a particular product that was failing, where I did nothing but that for like 3 days. But I always appreciate, seeing what you guys are doing. I recently replaced one of the monitors in Mission Control. Well, I guess technically I did put one of them back. So I replaced one of the monitors with an ultra wide and threw one of the original ones off to the side. And so, I've been keeping an eye out. I mentioned earlier I've got some, really old school HP monitors that are probably 13 years old. And, it's probably time for them to find a new life, maybe as the chat monitor in here or something, and get something like a couple of 4Ks.
I'm somewhat constrained. I'm somewhat constrained in the size of my monitors by my mount, which I don't want to have to. First of all, I couldn't really find. Well, I found one that might serve, but this one is supposed to be limited to 27 inches per monitor. Okay. So, ideally, the best size right now, the best price to size ratio is 32 inches today. The price delta between 27s and 32s in most things is minimal. So if you don't have space concerns, or a monitor arm that won't handle it or something, then you would be much better off to buy a 32 in anything, like whether it's a gaming monitor or just for productivity or whatever. The price deltas are so small. They're like $30, $50, whatever sometimes, that, and depending on the sale, you might even find a 32-inch of a different brand cheaper. So, and of course, if you're going at 4K, you probably would get more benefit out of 32 inches because then you wouldn't have to up the scaling so much. So I have to admit, I'm using 4K monitor and I like have it at 175%. I'm not really getting all my benefits from it. But now that I have two 4K monitors.
So that's not entirely true. And because you're getting, like on text and stuff, which I know you deal with all day long, you're getting, crisper text. It doesn't chunk up on, on smaller sizes. It's still going to be crisp. You're definitely getting a lot of benefit on a 4K, even at 175%.
That's good because it was really not clear to me. I mean, I'm going from, my 1080 monitors to my 4K monitors. And to be honest, I'm fitting about the same amount on the screen, maybe a little bit more.
But you're not having,
when I first got
your eyes aren't straining because the text is going to be crisper because there's more pixels to produce the exact same size text.
Yeah. Although funny thing, I am finding that my Dell monitors are still somewhat easier to read. The other thing that I'm finding interestingly is that I don't know if you've done a lot with multi-monitors, is that my upper monitor is more important to me than my right monitor. Like I thought for sure, because I sit over here, right? So I've got a set of 4 and I don't sit in the middle. It's just not how I got stuff on the floor. I can't really sit in the middle. So I sit in front of the lower left monitor. So that's like my number one most important monitor, right? But I thought when I set this up that like my number 2 most important monitor would be over here. But actually, like since they're so big, like even at 27 inches, turning my head and seeing stuff that's like all the way on the edge of that monitor is like not pleasant. But looking up into my smaller 24-inch monitor here is much easier. So I'm thinking that like the most important monitors to me are going to be the second most important monitor is going to be this upper one, rather than the lower right. In fact, it's even a little bit easier for me to see the upper right. It seems that the lower right is actually the worst place for me. I don't know. Maybe if I had an arm that was coming in more or something,
or maybe if you were centered. Yeah. Because like for me, for the primary setup, technically I've got 6 monitors out there on 2 arms, but the primary one that I use is, well, up until recently when I went to this ultra wide, it was a grid of 4, and I sit smack in the middle of it. So for me, the bottom ones were my primary, and then up to the second where I put like chat and media and stuff. But yeah, if I wasn't sitting center on it, which technically I'm kind of not now, my left monitor, which is one of the 27s, which sits off to the side of the ultra wide, has definitely become way less important, except when I'm editing, which became my preview screen, than it was when they were a perfect grid and I was dead center. So I get it.
Which should you find easier to work with, sitting with yourself in between monitors or sitting with yourself dead center in front of one monitor?
So I'm not dead center on the ultra wide, but I'm pretty close. I definitely. So it's hard for me to say because I'm annoyed by the lack of symmetry, and so I struggle with that aspect of it. But I don't know. I really like the ultra wide, which makes like I would probably be okay dumping the 27 if I didn't use it for editing with the ultra wide in the middle, but I'd move it back to the middle. So probably it seems like I like the symmetry more than I like anything else.
Yeah.
But I'm also not flat, right? My monitors are kind of like the peak of a house, and I sit in the middle of them. So, that makes it a little different.
Yeah, these are totally flat.
So I've
which,
kind of created one giant curved monitor.
yeah, well, that makes sense. Yeah. So anyway, I guess uh, if you are not constrained by having a monitor arm like mine, definitely get a 32 that only takes 27s. And by the way, before this, I had a different monitor arm set that only took 24s. So whatever monitor arm set I have, I seem to be one generation of inches behind or whatever. Because if you've been following monitors for a while, you know that at one point, like 20 was mainstream and 24 was big, and then 24 was mainstream and 27 was big. Now 27 is kind of either mainstream to small, and 32 is becoming the mainstream size now, I think, for people buying new monitors.
Gotcha.
So
Well,
at least in terms of the price for what you get.
and that might drive it to become the mainstream, right? Like if the pricings
Right.
are this, like the Dell, the one with too many twos in it, 3222
Yeah, right.
DGM.
It's $20 more for the 32 inch than the 27 inch.
Yeah,
Like there's a 27 inch is 269, and then the 32 inch is 289.
yeah,
So I think a lot of people would look at that and be like, and these are gaming monitors, so you probably really want that space. Like I think they'd probably look at that and be like, yeah, you know what, I'll spend the extra $20,
right.
even if all things being equal.
Yeah, because it's not like it's a $50 price difference or something like that. It's $20. It's not. It's an easy number to go. Okay, same price category. I'm gonna go with a 32.
Yeah. So anyway, but good time to get a monitor. Like I said, I'm keeping my eye out for product for. I bought one used monitor that's coming, but I still have one more to replace. So to get me to all newish monitors. So I'm keeping my eye out. I want a productivity monitor. I'm between either getting one of those Dell Ultra Sharps, or since my other three monitors now are going to be Lenovo's, I'm kind of tempted to get a Lenovo just for the fact, just to have the look of the monitors be pretty somewhat consistent with each other.
Sure, sure.
So the one that I ordered that I'm getting is a P27U10, which is a 27-inch 4K wide color gamut. They have a newer model that's the 20, but they're charging $550 for it, which is a lot. So we will, and some people are reporting that it makes noises, which would really concern me. That it has coil whine as some users have reported coil whine.
Huh.
So
Fascinating.
I don't know if that's common, but or just some people are getting it, but that I would not like that. I would not like my monitor to make whining noises to me. Although I have so much fan noise here, I might not notice it. So who
Possible.
knows? The final thing that I'm thinking about, I'm curious your opinion on it, is whether or not it would be really beneficial for me to get a monitor that has picture by picture. None of the monitors I have now, nor the one that I ordered, supports PBP, and I kind of really like the idea of having that. Do you know what that is, right? Picture by picture.
So that sounds like something side by side.
Yeah, it's for those who are following along at home. Picture, obviously, many of us have heard of picture in picture,
Right.
which is on TVs. Sometimes they have it, and on some monitors where you can get like a little tiny window in the corner of your screen, and that's coming from a different video source. So if you had two different computers, you could have, one that was the main window and one that was picture in picture. Picture by picture is the same concept, but equal halves of the screen, or you can divide it up differently. What I like about that is not even for the fact that I sometimes use other devices like a laptop or Raspberry Pi. I have a crazy idea that maybe after I've done it for 5 minutes, I would decide it's worthless. But I've never gotten to try. which is I would like to see what happens if I do two different connections from my same computer and have them be picture by picture, and if that gives me like extra desktops on in Windows. Like, I mean, technically speaking, you can split your screen, and I do it all the time with AeroSnap. But I don't like Windows Snap a lot because it keeps getting messed up. But when I have things on separate monitors, I don't have that problem. I just hit the maximize and I take over the screen, and I'm good at keeping them on the screen. So I'm thinking, like, I have a really wide monitor. What if I could just run two different DisplayPort connections or a DisplayPort and HDMI from my same graphics card on my desktop here to the same monitor, treat them as different connections, and do a PVP, and like, would I get like just two? I mean, I think Windows would see it as two different monitors, and then I would have like two task bars, and I would do a better job of, managing my windows and splitting up my space, because I'm terrible with a 4K monitor, 27-inch monitor, of like maximizing stuff, and I've got all this extra white space even with the high scaling I'm at, and I would love to force it to split in half or whatever. So I don't know. That is a theory I would love to test. Now maybe I would look at it and be like, I could just window snap stuff and not do this, whatever. I mean, another issue I'd run into there is that most video cards, including mine, only support 4 outs, and then I have 3 other whole monitors. So that would be 5 outs. So I would have to either get another graphics card or something. But anyway, I would certainly try it.
It's a fascinating pitch that you've just thrown out there. And I'm thinking about whether or not the taskbar behavior would annoy me enough or not for it to be a problem. But I really like the idea of, Windows shift left and right to just push it, boom, boom. And I know I do Windows left and right to do halves now, but the idea that Windows would recognize it appropriately, you don't have to worry about things getting stacked.
Yeah, I just have that problem a lot. I don't know. And I tried something called Virtual Display Manager the other day that's supposed to solve for that and doesn't really. So anyway, we don't need to distract with all this. But
fascinating.
That's something I'm thinking about.
Okay.
And by the way, folks, there's an LG monitor that's on sale now called, I think it's called the Double or something, and it is actually 2 monitors in one.
Is it the up and down one?
But that's yes. So there are 2 like 2K monitors stacked, is what it is.
Yeah.
But
I've seen that about.
But it's not a great deal because I think it's close to $600 for that, and I guess that's okay. Yeah. But one could probably get a mount and get some less expensive 2K monitors and stack them. But but anyway. That's the idea. I'd love to try it out.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun project. Well, as always, Avram, I appreciate you bringing this info to us, and I look forward to what we talk about next time. Hello, YouTube. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode of The Piltch Point with Avram Piltch. If you did, please subscribe to our channel, and of course hit the notification bell since subscriptions don't mean much on YouTube anymore. And if you've got topics you'd like us to discuss in the future, we'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you don't want to follow us on YouTube, that's okay. There's a lot of other ways that you can follow our content. You can find all of that by going to plughitslive.com/subscribe. There you'll see all of our shows and all the different ways that you can watch, listen, and follow along.